What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode from the CultureVerse podcast. We have another movie review for you guys today. I think this is our first four-person 2026 movie review. Would that be correct?
It should be, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's our first four-person 2026 movie review. We all went and saw Send Help, the new Sam Raimi movie starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. Obviously, you guys know how this whole thing goes. There will be spoilers, so you have been warned. But without further ado, let's get into our ratings first. So I know I just said there will be spoilers, but you can stay to hear the ratings if you would like. Does anybody want to go first? Tyler wants to go first.
We were giving this movie a 3.5.
Okay, okay. Caleb, Jack, me, who?
I can go. I'll
You know
go.
what? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, this is a 3.5.
Look at that. Look at
All right.
that.
Caleb fucked it up again.
I see. Listen, here, I even battled with myself giving it a 3 or three
He
and a half.
always ruins
So
it.
I,
I mean, it's better when it's a 3 or 3.5 compared to when, we all give a movie a 5 star and you give it a 4.5. That's never happened.
that was horrible. Okay, leave me alone.
That was a rough day for Caleb. Okay, well,
I felt
you guys
terrible.
know you guys know how this goes. Spoilers ahead now. You heard our ratings. We will be posting stuff on Instagram about it. But let's get right into this, guys. So I think both me and Tyler said this, but to us at least, this movie is 2026's version of Companion. It's that movie where you go into it expecting this kind of like dark horror-esque tone, and then Tyler and I just thought this movie was absolutely hilarious. I mean, 80% of this movie, we were laughing. Maybe at times, well, I don't even think you're laughing when you're not supposed to be. I think it's very clear intended to make it funny. Like, it is just funny. And huge tip of the hat to both Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. But Dylan O'Brien, holy shit, dude. The top of my review when I write this on Letterboxd is going to be this is my petition to get Dylan O'Brien in more movies because I think he is so awesome. He's such a good actor, but in this movie, holy shit, that man is hilarious with the noises he makes, the facial expressions, his voice, everything about his character is just hilarious from the beginning. I mean, I knew it was in the trailer, but when we're first on the plane, I was saying to Tyler, I was like, Tyler, the laugh is gonna come. And he goes, get in your seat if you're bitches. And he was like, ha! He's just everything he does in this movie is so funny. So that's kind of where I wanted to start with this, and you know what else is funny? Tyler and I also had a moment similarly to Companion where we were laughing way longer than we should have been. And we'll get into it. We'll get into it. This movie's hilarious. That was my biggest positive was that just like Companion, I didn't go into this expecting it to be as funny as it was, and I walked out thinking this was one of the funnier movies I'd seen in theaters in a long time.
I actually have a comparison quick before we get deeper into it. And what you said, by companion, to me, this kind of felt like Tyler. I don't think you saw this one, but it kind of felt like Death of a Unicorn to me, where it was kind of horror-ish, definitely intended to be funny.
Mm.
And to me personally, I don't remember what you guys rated it because I think we did a three-person pod for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Were you guys at four? I can't remember if you guys were fours.
think
I think
so.
I was.
I
Okay.
think I was
This
too.
one, so this one and Death of the Unicorn, I went in with like middle expectations and felt a little disappointed just because of the good reviews both of them were
Mhm.
getting at the time when I watched them. But that's not to say I didn't think this movie was good for what it's doing. I think this movie knows exactly what it's doing with its
Mhm.
humor and its suspense. It mixes perfectly. I mean, this is a Sam Raimi movie, and I kept thinking this is the most 2000s campy movie ever. That's definitely the vibe he was going for. It feels retro, and that's kind of what I liked about it. It felt so fresh. It was original. There's great humor. There's really thrilling moments. I think that this movie does what it wants to be, and I think the fact that it's Sam Raimi doing an original screenplay just makes it more fun for that matter. But those are just my first takeaways. But Death of a Unicorn is how I felt similarly walking out of the theater for both of them.
Mhm. Tyler, Jake.
Yeah. I will say this is what happens when you get creative and fun people in a room and they actually enjoy making the movie. I rather doubt that this makes a whole lot, like box office wise, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good experience. And I like what Gabe was talking about with the humor. I think a lot of that humor comes from the fact that you have Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams, who are both, I think, very talented actors who just have natural charisma about them. So they're just very easy to watch and follow along. Like you're never like struggling to get invested in their characters because like Dylan O'Brien is a complete asshole for like, the I mean, honestly, most of the movie, but he kind of gets out asshole by the end. But and you're still having fun watching him. Like a lot of people who play like antagonistic characters, like you're like, fuck this guy. But like Tyler and Gabe were talking about, they're laughing with him. They're having a good time watching him do his thing. So, and the other side of that is having a director like Sam Raimi who is clearly having a good time telling this original story. I just think that does wonders for the movie because I was not bored really for a second during this movie. I was focused, I was locked in, following the storyline the whole time. And that was a concern of mine. When I saw the trailer, I was like, how are they going to stretch this into an entire movie without losing me and keep my, interest the whole time? And I thought this was going to be a mediocre experience. It ended up being a very fun one. So that was a good time.
Yeah, Gabe, you summed it up very well for me. This movie is hilarious. And one of my other notes is Sam Raimi is all over this camera. There is so many close up shots that are definitely supposed to be funny, and they definitely are. Like, for example, when they're in the office and it just zooms in on Rachel McAdams' face, and you just see the tuna on her face, and it pans back and forth to that and Dylan O'Brien's face. Absolutely hilarious. Or when it has the guy sniff his hand, it was awesome. And one other particular moment is when they're on the beach and it just keeps transitioning back and forth to
That
Dylan
was
O'Brien's face.
hilarious.
So funny. So funny.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was the scene I was thinking of. Like his editing style is so you just know it's Sam Raimi. The way he edits and shoots things, it kind of reminded me of The Substance, but The Substance was definitely inspired by Sam Raimi, like his late 90s horror movies. Um, his editing style doesn't work for everybody, but it definitely works for this kind of movie. And that's kind of what I feel about his editing style.
Hmm. Jack, you were about to say something. You're like,
Oh,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
think
work. It
the
doesn't work for
moment
Jack, does it?
that most, what do you mean?
Of course it doesn't work for Jack.
You don't like
Doesn't
his
work for
editing?
Jack. Oh, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you kind of just accept it like it's like a non-factor to me. Like you kind of notice it, and some of the extremes that he likes to have. Like I like that there's a unique touch to it, but there's extremes that he has where he just he likes to just throw like a bucket of snot on Rachel McAdams. Like he loves to overdo it, and the shots get like really up close and personal, like almost too much. But at the same time, it's like this is just how Sam Raimi makes movies, and it's really not taking away from anything. And like another one that's like very, very signature of him, the jump scares that he tries to get in there with like the there's two examples. One's when she's trying to get out of the plane and there's like the dead body and it like just pops down and it's like got the eyes popping out and it's just kind of a trying to get you thing, but it really doesn't make any sense.
That got me
And it
so
just like
bad.
quick zooms in. And then the one that I know got Tyler bad is when she's seeing the fiance on the beach, and then she like jumps up behind her and like quick zooms in on her face, and she doesn't even look human, and her eyes are popping out of her head. Like that's just like that's one of those moments where I'm like, okay, this is obviously Sam Raimi. Like that's just what he's doing, and it really doesn't take away from the experience. If anything, if I was watching it with Tyler, it probably would have added to my experience. So,
Yeah, that
it
part
just
was so unnecessary. Like you
yeah.
didn't have to do all that.
But see, that's the point though. Like in my mind, like it is just unnecessary, but it's also kind of just like a non-factor in my rating. Like I'm like, what am I going to do? Lower the movie score because there's unnecessarily placed two jump scares? Like it's not like that big of a deal, but like you guys were talking about, there's just those little moments that you can definitely tell who it is.
yeah,
So I don't mind that.
I think the casting director nailed it with this movie. I mean, the chemistry and the back and forth between Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien is so good. I
Yeah.
mean, Dylan O'Brien talked a lot behind the scenes about how this was like a really nerve-wracking movie for him because he said growing up, Rachel McAdams was like he was like in love with Rachel McAdams, and he was like, I've always wanted to do a movie with her, and it was always really exciting. And he said working for Sam Raimi is like just a crazy big thing for him. And unfortunately, outside of Mason or like Dylan O'Brien has not really gotten the respect I think he should as an actor. Like I feel like he absolutely could be doing bigger roles, and he just hasn't been. So this was kind of like a big deal for him, and at least to me, that he got this part. And I just thought the two of them were so good together. I mean, their dialogue was awesome. I loved how you kept going back and forth between him trying to like pretend like he was going along with it and then doing something insane. I laughed out loud when he's rowing away on his little raft. He goes, "Fuck you, Linda!" That was fucking hilarious. And then the raft just gets destroyed and he rolls back up. But it was just the back and forth dialogue was so good, and both of them reach so deep into this like insane mindset for this movie, and they both did such a good job. I mean, Rachel McAdams is like uncomfortably crazy in this movie, and she does such a good job. Like towards the end when she's talking to Dylan or Bradley, whatever, throughout the movie, when she's talking to him about like why he keeps leaving and how you made this so difficult and all this shit, and I'm like, this is crazy, bro. And then he gives that whole dialogue where he's like saying he secretly loves her and he's just trying to stab her, like the insanity, the back and forth craziness of it all. And then the cherry on top of cutting to her a year later playing golf, talking about how she's taken up the sport. I mean, it is just like such a
I
like
love that cut.
it's just
The cut
so
with the
it's just so
swing and
like
the
yeah, it's just the dynamics of these two characters is just it's just done so well, and the actors are both perfect for these roles. I mean, Dylan's comedic timing and his delivery is truly insane. There was another behind the scenes interview where he low key said that he like would challenge Raimi and be like, I like the scene, but what if I changed the way I said this? Or what if I laughed a different way? And he was like, it just stuck. And like Raimi let me keep it in. And I'm very grateful for that because one of the things he talked about was the laugh that he does on the plane when he's like, sit down only if you're a bitch or whatever. And he laughs. He was like, Raimi did not have that written. He was like, he wanted me to laugh, but not like that. So, like, I'm just glad that they got to really have fun with this movie. It seems like they really enjoyed it. I know that there was an interview asking both of them about like being in a Sam Raimi movie, like, is it scary having to, get covered in blood, fake blood and vomit and all that shit? And they were both like, this is awesome. Like, this is why we act. This is so much fun. Tyler, I know that just reminded you of the scene where she's just throwing up directly into
I
his
think
face,
yeah.
which that's also a hilarious scene when she's just vomiting. Like in between giving him CPR, she just stops and just spews directly into his face. And then the
that was
next
hard
thing
to
it cuts
watch.
to. Well, it's also
Yeah.
awesome. The cuts in this movie are so good because it'll just all of a sudden cut, and it's just Dylan O'Brien like he's just not okay, bro. Like he's so out of it. I think specifically of the scene, of course, where she pretends to neuter him. That scene is incredible. The amount of tension built in that scene is ridiculous. In the sounds when she's cutting, I was
The
fully
blood spurt.
fully convinced that
Dude,
she
I
was
was
actually
watching like this.
until the blood once the blood splattered, then I was kind of like, okay, I think she's doing something. But until that moment, I was like, she is cutting his balls off.
Well, and she's like, we got a bleeder. Like I was like, oh my God.
She's just so good. She does so good in this movie with her line delivery. And when she's like talking to him and she's like, you're stuck on an island with a horrible boss, but I just all of her lines are so good, dude. She delivers them so well. And that whole scene, one of the best moments in the entire movie. And I think it's the one where Tyler and I laugh the most. It's when she's like warming up the knife and she kind of moves away and you can see Dylan in the back and he makes the most perfect villager from Minecraft noise I've ever heard in my entire life. He's in the background, he goes like, "Arr." It is seriously, I just for reference, I saw this twice in like 6 hours. I saw this movie two times, incredibly close to each other. I was in tears both times when he's laying back and makes that noise. Like I could not contain my laughter. And I was so glad that the theater found it funny. Like our theater, Tyler, there was a character in the front row
What
who
was the
was like
character?
clapping during scenes, but there were just people laughing. So like I'll shut the hell up right now. I've been talking a lot, but I mean, Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, what a duo! Because it could not have worked better, in my opinion.
I mean, and this movie needs its two co-stars to lead it. I mean, it's just them for the most part. And I think that Gabe, I was going to say, talking about Dylan O'Brien, we need to check out Twinless. I think it just came out on Hulu if you're on Disney Plus. It's
Yes.
him with. I think we should, because you said that, and I was like, yeah, what else has he been in? I was like, oh yeah, that came out last year, so that's something to think about. But Rachel
Mhm.
McAdams, she's not even known as like this. I don't even want to call her like a slasher role, but like she's insane. Like it's
Yeah.
the way she's not known for these kind of roles, so that was really surprising for me. But I think Dylan O'Brien was just better, just like the nuance of how he can fool you, where like it's he tiptoes that line of like
Hmm.
believing him or not, and I think he does it so well because it could feel so cliche if it's so obvious one way or the other.
Hmm.
But the way he's able to act, either like he's he's lying or not like in some certain moments like it's great. I think that it's mostly that, but I think Dylan Bryan just
Hmm.
I think both of them did great, but I think I would give Dylan Bryan the lead just because I have liked him for longer too.
Hmm.
I,
Bro hasn't
so
seen Rachel McAdams in Mean Girls.
that's not like
Psychopath.
it's not
Psychopath.
even similar to this like at all.
I did see a hilarious review that was like, we finally found a movie where Rachel Adams is scarier than she was in Mean Girls. I thought that was really funny. But
uh,
adding on to that, Kale, like I think one of the better moments of that is when they're in the cave together. And I'm like genuinely starting to believe that like Bradley is he's falling in love with this person, and there's still that, but which is why that's done so well because right after that is when he gets up early and you see him messing around with something, and you're like, oh, this guy. Then you
yeah,
start to kind of feel like this guy's doing something, and that's just
and
so
I,
well acted.
yeah, and
I,
I liked how they didn't make it cliche, or they could have gotten. Sorry, Jack. They could have made it the love ending. I don't think Sam Raimi would do that, but I think it's
Mhm.
just kind of like ingrained in your mind, like that kind of cliche ending with like the, oh, it's all gonna work out in the end or something like that. Like they're all. I was just picturing it's in the office and they're all together. Like I was hoping that wouldn't what they would do. So I'm glad they didn't go the cliche ending as far as the romance part of it.
I would have gotten the romance ending personally because
Oh,
I, yeah, I wouldn't have betrayed her like that.
You
of
want to do
course.
it now,
Well,
Jack?
yeah, if it's Rachel
No,
McAdams, maybe,
what?
but
Yeah,
You
it's
know what?
Rachel McAdams.
We
I'm
are
not.
going to do this.
No,
So
that's a
Jack
blessing.
Jack had a
He goes,
little
no, we're gonna do
statement.
this.
Jack had a little statement after this movie that I think we need to put on full blast here. Jack, go ahead and explain this.
Which one?
All of them. Just what you were
What do you
saying.
mean all of
Just what
them?
you were saying about this situation in this movie
I'm
and
just
her as a
saying
character.
that if you left me on an island with Rachel McAdams and she wanted to pursue a romantic relationship with me, I'm not betraying her trust,
That
and
is
I'm
not how
not
you
leaving.
said it, dog.
I can fix her, is what I was basically
I can
alluding
fix
to.
her. And what you also said, she is not crazy except for in
She's
the
not that
very end.
crazy.
She's not that crazy. Okay.
She's not that crazy. If it was me, if it was me, a lot of that wouldn't have happened because she wouldn't have had to take those actions. If it was me, she never would have had to have killed those two people, and she never would have had to try to cut my balls off, and yeah, all that sort of stuff. I would have appreciated her hospitality and her help, and I would have helped her and been useful, and we wouldn't be going anywhere.
No,
guys,
I
is this
think she still would
is
have killed the two people.
No, no,
No, she
no,
definitely would have.
no.
What Jack's doing,
No,
he's writing his
1000%.
he's started writing his own ending because he's convinced that she's not a crazy person.
Well,
So he's
because
changed his
No,
own.
whoa.
no, she 1000%
You
would have killed the people because the whole point of her is she wants to stay there, and if those people
That's what
stay
I
there,
said.
then they would take them home,
He was
and
like
she did
Jack.
not
Jack
want
goes
yeah,
that.
when I was
no,
like she wants to stay there forever. Jack goes, I think if I convinced her that I had a nice
yeah,
family, she'd be
yeah.
willing to leave the
No,
island.
it wasn't that. It was the fact that she knows that as soon as they get off the island, Bradley's gonna leave her. He's gonna like call her crazy and leave her, and that's not me. And I think she would know that she can trust me, and we would be able to go off the island and still be together. Because that was why she didn't want
Aw.
to go back home and be alone. Yep. See,
I
I'm
think
just
it
a
was.
nice guy.
I think it's a mix of both, and her thinking and maybe knowing that Bradley would betray her if they went back home, and a mix of her actually having someone to talk with on an island
Stop nodding. She's insane.
It's
where
She's
fitting.
she still
crazy.
wanted to do her entire
She
life.
is a
Bro hit the
Be on
crazy
an
bro hit the
person.
island.
speed gif.
She is a crazy person. Jack is
She
like
is great.
nodding, like Tyler. He's like, yeah, exactly. No, dog.
He's making sense to
No.
me.
This is
I I also like to amend your statement. I didn't say she's not crazy. You said she's crazy, and I said so am I.
You told me she wasn't crazy till the very end.
Neither of us are crazy.
Jack is having a freak off.
That's
What is
that's not
happening?
what you want to hear. That's not what you
What
want.
I said
Okay,
Jack's having a freak
I'm
off.
is
just
Rachel McAdams single? No, it's not a freak off. It's
this delusion is insane.
Okay,
Okay, I think let's just go
I have
I
a
back.
don't.
take.
oh
I have a
no,
take.
no, she's
Yes,
Interesting.
yeah,
Kill.
she's taken, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Is this the second Minecraft movie where they just like crafting and building their
What does that even
I
mean?
literally made a comment in the movie
He did.
when
Yeah.
she was when they split up and he goes to his other side. I literally said to Gabe, "This is me playing Minecraft again."
Yeah, Gabe said that to me
I was
when
like,
Bradley
Jack
was
told
building
me.
his shitty little house, and he was like, "Here, look at this rock and this tree. That's a good base."
He, he literally
He was like, Tyler said that's me.
he literally touches the rock and he goes, okay, rock.
Also, you can ask Gabe several things that Linda did during that movie. I leaned over to Gabe and said, "That's literally me." So do what you will with that
I
information.
also saw a lot of similarities with that scene in particular to Madagascar when
You
they
did
split
say
up.
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You did say
that's
The
that.
true.
eyes goes on the other side.
Tyler was like, this is literally just Madagascar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that were definitely definitely just really funny to witness in theaters. But um oh man, there's a specific scene that I was gonna bring up and now I cannot remember it. Shoot. There's just so many good scenes in this movie. Just really funny scenes. But
Can I make a
uh
take? Oh, sorry. I
yes,
didn't
you
know if you're
can.
thinking. I didn't know if
Oh
you're
man.
thinking, Gabe. I didn't know if you're thinking, Gabe.
You got it, Kill.
Okay. I was just gonna make a quick thing about about the editing. One last thing. To me, the editing kind of felt a little similar to like Danny Boyle in like 28 Years Later, to where it's all like kind of it becomes its own character in a
Bad.
sense. Well, and it kind of, I mean, it remained true with for you, Jack. You just said you didn't like how some of it was like in your face, kind of like moving around a lot. I just like how both of them are able to like make the camera a character in a way. It's also kind of how I feel about Kreger in Weapons, like how they're able to move the camera so much and like do these fresh camera angles and like I don't know the perspective that I think that Raimi and like people like Raimi, Boyle, and Kreger can like do in like modern horror-ish type things. I really like how that is at least not making it stale. That's kind of the point I was trying to make with at least comparing it to Boyle.
Kill, I kind of get what you're saying with Boyle, but I think that the difference, at least for Jack and I, is this one's 80% comedy based. So you're when you're using that, like,
Yeah,
I'm not supposed to be taking it as seriously. So and I get what you're saying. I think this is a lot less obnoxious than the way Danny does it. I think Danny is like cutting every three
that's
seconds, just
true. Yeah,
Agree.
really cutting really close. This definitely is Sam Raimi written all over it, where he's got these crazy, really close shots or these weird fades or these weird. This is actually a little bit of a con that I'm going to talk about later, but like he really kept using the fade to black, which I felt like a lot of times he didn't need to do that. In a movie, that's weird. In a movie, a fade to black is like I get it with a show because it's like emulating a commercial break essentially, but in the middle of a movie, I'm like, what? Why did he do that? And there was definitely some times where when she pushes them off the cliff, I mean, obviously we don't know that she pushed them. Right in like the most tense moment of her backing away, it cuts to black, and I was like, that's like one of the most tense moments in the movie, and you just cut to black. So like, it's weird editing styles like that Raimi does, where it feels a little strange, but since it's so dark comedy esque, it works better for me because I'm just like not taking it as seriously, you know? So that's kind of
yeah,
the way that I looked at that. But I get what you're saying, especially with weapons. Zach Krager, very similar. The way the camera is moving around, the way we're put into the shoes of almost like a third survivor on this island walking around with them. Like that's you're not seeing it from anyone's perspective. You're seeing it from a camera that's just like latched onto the situation. So I really like that as well. I thought it was done well, and it did. I agree. Weapons is a good example. I can see what you're saying by that. It felt like weapons.
Well, and I guess kind
Tyler?
of with your
Nope,
fade to
nope.
back. Sorry, Tyler. With the fade to black thing,
I
that's
was
kind
gonna
of what I
say
feel like that campy 2000s like where it just
Yeah,
like it's so strange because it doesn't feel right. And so
yeah,
I mean it is strange. Like that's like my only like I guess we can start going to cons if we don't really have any other
yeah.
things
Sure.
here, but I don't really have a lot of the like the bad in my review because what it boils down for me for like this for the bad for this movie, I it just feels a little too silly in that way where I feel similar to Death of a Unicorn, where Death of a Unicorn is like it has a cool premise. It has cool moments
Mhm.
for me. It's just like a little bit too much like insanity. And that's the point, but it also like at some point personally it just didn't resonate with me too much. Like I literally felt like I was watching a 2006 straight to TV horror movie at sometimes. And I was like, this is cool for what it is, but like I don't know. That was just like my big con. And then Yeah, it just hasn't been resonating with me as much recently. That's kind of what I was gonna say for my bad.
Yeah, I think Tyler, did you have something there?
I was going to keep it short. I don't really have many cons really because I don't know. This is a movie where it's like it, I have a 3.5 on it, and that's probably the highest I would go for a movie like this because they're not trying to do anything crazy and they just want to hit with the comedy, and they definitely do that for me. So I don't really have outside of what Gabe said with the fade into black. There's really nothing major that stands out to me.
Yeah. I think the biggest con I had in this entire movie is actually the genre of like survival movies. Like I don't like survival movies really. I don't really like natural disaster movies because I think that they're very repetitive, they're very cliche, they're very the tropes are common. Like it's just always the same. And that's exactly how this feels. I mean, like if you compare this to a movie that's like anything about getting stranded on an island, it's pretty much always going to be the same general premise of, well, what do you have to do when you get stranded on an island? You build a shelter, then you go find food, then you make some sort of thing. Like, it's just not exactly my thing. So, like, no matter what, there wasn't exactly any escaping that because that's the entire premise of the movie. So when I first saw the trailers, I was like, okay, I'm mixed here because on one hand, I like Rachel McAdams, I like Dylan O'Brien, I think Sam Raimi's a good actor, and it looks fun, or a good director, excuse me, and it looks fun. The other hand, this is a survival natural disaster island movie, and I know like roughly what's gonna happen in this because you get the desert shots of them washed up on the shore, and it's just all very repetitive. It's just the same thing, different font, and that's exactly how this was. It felt no different to me than any of those other movies, which on one hand is I knew that going in. I'm not gonna like be like this movie sucks because of that. Like that's not what I'm saying, because otherwise I just wouldn't have seen this movie if I really hated it that much. But it's just something that I was aware of going in, and it affects my rating because if you've ever seen any movie that's on an island, this is it, but it's really funny. So that worked really well for me. So that's probably my biggest con. And then I'll agree with what you said, Tyler, as well. It's one of those movies that just kind of like you can't really justify going higher than a 3.5. Like it's fun, it's effective. That's it. Like if you compare up to other fours, I'm just gonna be like, it's not gonna reach this level. It's just not.
Jack, any negatives
Yeah,
since you were doing
I
laundry?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I'm
plenty.
no, no, no. I will say the most unreasonable part of this entire movie was that they tried to make anyone believe that Rachel McAdams was somehow like disgusting or unattractive at any point in the beginning of the film.
I thought they
They
did a decent
literally
to an extent.
they gave her
They
glasses,
did.
made her hair messy, and gave her a sweater. It's
And a wart.
I
it
think they
looked
used some
horrible.
makeup too to
It looked like a hot person
He
having a
looked a
bad
lot
day.
better on the island, let me tell you that.
yes. Yeah.
I I'm folding at any point in the movie for her. So just to lay my
You've
cards
made
out on the
that
table.
very clear.
She literally could do anything. And
Dude, stop talking, bro. What is give us your cons? Holy shit.
okay. Well, yeah, sorry. Sidetracked. Anyway, I'm gonna jump on the Tyler train here because this is in fact one of those movies that kind of just has a hard cap with the rating where it's like, how monumental can this be? How impactful can this be? And yes, it is a fun time and it's interesting to watch, but even in like the humor like department, I don't. It's still not like because the way I just said that makes it seem like a comedy movie can't be a 5 star, and that's not true. I think that there's all time performances in that category or film showings in that category that can get above that level. But I don't think that's what this is. And I honestly don't think that's particularly what we were going for here. I think we were going for a fun time, and this is kind of a. I've kind of seen people say this kind of like a Sam Raimi return, like to form. Like there's something that he's just doing out of his passion, like the way he likes to do it. And I think this is, as Gabe mentioned, I think this is kind of a fun experience for the actors as well. So yes, it's fun and good, but there's just only so much you can do and so much you can move with that. I'd also like to point out I actually don't love the way it ended in that we
Dude,
don't see I just we cut straight from the golf club all the way to the golf course like a year later, and So we really never see how they get rescued or how she gets rescued. And for a guy like Sam Raimi that really, really likes to show you everything and a lot of things, and even tries to give you that for part of that fight, you're telling me he's killing off his main character off screen? Not my favorite move
It wasn't
out of
exactly
a
an off-screen kill,
What if
though.
he didn't die?
kind of because we don't see it. Didn't see him die.
This is the same guy
I'm
who
So
kidding. I'm
raises No
kidding.
Country for Old Men.
yep, that movie does a lot of other things a lot better than this one, and I don't like that in that movie either. That's not the only reason it's a 3.5. And No Country for Old Men is not a 5-star movie for me.
Your made-up ending.
You're right, it isn't.
My what?
Nothing. Go on.
I don't know what he's talking about. This movie is nowhere near the category of film that No Country for Old Men.
It was
is.
just an example.
But,
Yeah, it was just
He's not comparing the two
not
movies.
comparing the movies and comparing the situations.
oh, I'm also comparing directors and genres here, and this is a horror film, and I like to see the deaths in my horror films. I'm not talking about I need to see the deaths in every single movie ever, because otherwise I'd be like, why didn't Anakin kill the younglings on screen, George Lucas? What the hell? No, this is a horror movie. I want to see what I.
He wants a
This is horror
spin-off
movie,
of Send Help.
and it's Sam Raimi. I mean, he likes to show it all. He likes to do it all on screen and show you. I mean, look at Multiverse of Madness. That's a superhero movie, and he freaking eviscerates childhood favorite heroes for people on camera. So that's just all I'm pointing out there. That's not like a colossal thing on my rating. I was just trying to come up with something other than saying, yeah, Tyler's right, guys. 3.5.
I'd be cool with that.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I try not to be too much of a sheep, but I'm a little bit of one today. Caleb.
Just a stray
No,
for
he's
no
right,
reason.
I just looked up. I just looked up and made eye contact with him and was like,
Yeah.
you know what?
Maybe I just have joy. I mean, have you ever considered that?
I just wrote
Now you're going down the Jack route.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Well, it's funny because I'm the
Boy.
lowest on this movie too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
By the way, I just saw a review of Letterboxd. Someone said this movie was more stressful than Marty Supreme, and I just blocked them. I'm just kidding, but
You
Blocked
blocked
them.
them.
That seems extreme.
I mean, was Marty Supreme that stressful?
Not really.
I was not stressed
I
during
thought it
that
was
movie.
pretty high tense. I definitely felt
I
stressed.
thought it was intense. I don't think it was stressful.
I think those things go pretty
Okay.
hand in hand. Something's intense.
pretty
I'm
stressful
probably
how
gonna-
the stakes keep raising every scene that happens.
Yes. And you don't get a whole lot of chances to take a break either. We are not reviewing Marty Supreme right now.
Wait, hold on. Side quest.
Side quest. We start reviewing a different movie.
Send Marty
No.
Supreme.
No. That's,
The ADHD podcast official.
we just draw movies out of a hat. We just start reviewing them that day.
Not
Whether
even a
we've seen
hatch,
him or
just
not.
whatever comes to our mind.
Yeah, we just start talking.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about
Good idea,
Batman
guys.
Begins?
all right.
No.
No, we can't.
All right. I think we're losing it.
I was gonna say, does anybody have any final points they want to make before we wrap it up?
Rachel McAdams. 2 words for you.
Okay. All right.
Two
well,
words. Must see TV.
we-
Chris Paul.
All right. Well, we would love to hear what you guys' thoughts were on this movie in the comments below. If you guys agreed or disagree, please let us know. But as always, thank you guys for listening. We will be posting more stuff on social media, and we will catch you guys next time.